Hey everybody, Chevy Nobody Else's Auto, out on an old farm cleanup. Now, I kind of got in on the tail end of this deal. There was about 50 vehicles that came out of here. A lot of them were gone before I got here. I had a buddy that got in on here and got some stuff out of here, and he called me on a few things that he wasn't interested in. So I came up and I ended up with 6 total out of here. So we're gonna look at 2 of them that are coming in on this load. We'll have another batch coming in on another load, 2 of them. I've already got 1 on the trailer right now, 1 back to the yard. So we're gonna check out these couple here coming in just as I found them, just as you see them. First off is this old mid-80s Caprice. Just a regular 4-door, no front clip, not a heck of a lot left of it. And that 59 Chevy farm truck coming in as well. There isn't a lot left of this old car. Buried back here in the trees. We're gonna grab this Chevy truck front clip as well. When they pull the Caprice out of here, and even though this car is pretty rough and without a front clip, there's not much here. If I didn't buy it, the other option was it was going to the shredder. So obviously no front end whatsoever left on it. Not a heck of a lot here. But my guy that hauls 2 at a time, I could double it up on the load with that 59 Chevy farm truck. And so I went ahead and worked a deal on it and brought it in. We're gonna bring it in. Along with this old 59 Chevy, not a terrible looking old truck. It's got a V8 in it. It doesn't have a V on the hood, so I think it was a 6-cylinder truck that somebody put a V8 in at some point, but a fairly straight old truck. So this one's out and accessible. We just pulled the Studebaker out of that hole. Several other cars come right out of this area, as you can tell by where the bare spots were in the ground. So we're going to get these things hauled out of here back to the yard, and we'll take a little bit better look at them then. Well, we got this old Viking back to the yard. Fortunately, I got a guy that does some hauling for me. He's got a big trailer to handle this big stuff, and that's how we got this one and the Dodge and some of these other bigger trucks in here. But this old Viking, like we saw where I found it at, pretty much intact. It, like I said, it's all there. It's been painted before. It's had a little body work done in the past, but there again, it's all here. Now, these front fender badges, these are pretty cool. These are 59 only. Big spear looking thing. Viking designating the bigger truck, and then of course 60 being the upper series heavier duty trucks. Around front, like we just saw, it has the base 6-cylinder hood badge. This one does not have a V on it. However, this particular truck does have a V8 in it. But the nice thing about this front end is all straight. Even the front bumper's not banged up. This big grille, which is unique to these bigger series trucks, they're different than a pickup. Nice and straight. Under the hood here, you can take a look under here and see where somebody has put this V8 in it. Looks like they already got the carburetor off of it. But this truck was modernized with a V8. We can see it's got an alternator on it. So this truck, there again, these things were designed to work. They needed to work, they had to work. Something probably happened to the original engine. They needed it to haul grain. You get them fixed, you get them going down the road. We've seen that countless times on these old trucks that we found out here on Kansas farms, because that's what you did. That's what you had to do. Now, I've got a 28 Chevy truck with a 26 Chrysler engine in it sitting out here because that's what you had to do back in the day. So that is not uncommon to see some of these farm trucks modified like that because they had to get the job done. People back then, they made them work. They did what they had to do. They utilized what they had to keep these trucks on the road, because if they weren't hauling grain, they didn't have any money. So probably what happened to this one, added the V8 possibly for more power as they replaced the original engine to make this truck do the job. Inside this old truck, it's all here and intact. We see these big mirrors. You got to kind of walk around these big mirrors, but those mirrors were important for these trucks when you had these big beds on. You had to be able to see around them and see the traffic, because if these didn't have a big bed, they didn't haul very much grain. That was that many more trips back and forth to the elevator, that much more lost time. There again, in today's world, everybody runs semis, but back in the day, this is what you had, and you had to make do with what you had, and you need to get as much grain moved as you could. Now, this cab does have some typical rust in it above the windshield and things like that, but You know, down here the steps and everything are all still in this cab. The dash is all still there and intact. Original seat's still there. It's been had a different cover put on it, but there again, it's still there, and structurally looks like a pretty good seat. Doors still closed good. Let's swing around and take a peek in the other side. And we can see over here, we can still see it has the original radio delete plate in it, has a factory heater in it. So a lot of good pieces left on this particular old 59 Viking. Plus it's also cool because it's called a Viking, which is just, I think, is kind of neat. Let's work our way around the back of this old Viking, catch that Caprice that we saw a little bit ago, and some of the other bits and pieces that also came in. Like I said, this was an estate. There were cars, there were parts, there was stuff everywhere. So we've even got a load here in the back of this truck of other things that came in here with it. So let's hop up in there and take a quick look at those pieces. Well, I'm up here in the back of the old Viking. Let's check out some of the other pieces I found laying around there that when my guy went and picked this up, I had him pile it in the back of here so we could get it all moved in at one time. So let's take a look at what we got up here. School bus yellow hood. That's because it was on a school bus. Yes, but it's a pretty nice hood for a GMC. 63 to 66 GMC. These hoods are kind of tough to find. And this thing was pretty straight. The old bus has been sitting on the ground and was pretty rusty, so they were going to scrap it. So I went ahead and bought the hood off of it. Does still have the V6 badges on the side of it. But couldn't let that hood go to scrap for as clean as that was. As well as a 41 to 46 Chevy truck front clip. Bottom part of the grill's kind of banged up, but the upper part didn't look too bad. So wanted to add that to my pile and tossed her in the back of the old Viking here to haul it in. As we get to the back of the Viking, we see our Caprice that came with this. So not a ton left of the Caprice, but let's go check it out. Well, we're down off the Chevy, intact and in one piece. Back to the Caprice. Not much here, I'll be honest with you. Very little here. You know, the front clip was gone as we seen it back in the trees. Now that it's out, we can see it a little bit better. Apparently this thing had an under hood fire and melted a lot of the stuff up here on top of the engine, even the top of the distributor cap and the plug wires. So apparently it doesn't look bad because, I mean, it didn't even burn the belts or the hoses, but something flared up here on right here on the top, very top of the engine that started to melt a lot of that stuff. So obviously happened years ago. Don't know what it was. This is how we found it. But there again, these Caprices, the 77 to 90 body style, they're getting harder to find all the time. They're getting more and more popular. And even though without a front clip, this being a four-door, not a ton here, I still thought, well, I didn't want to see it go to the crusher if we didn't have to. I figured he could probably get it tucked on a load with that farm truck because he's usually can get two on. I knew it was going to be tight with that truck, but with no front clip, was able to kind of make them work. And we got it here. So it's here. There is a lot of trim, a lot of bits and pieces. It's got all the lower trim down the sides of it, things like that. Along the back, the rear bumper, the taillights, all this stuff is still here. But just like I said, I knew there wasn't a ton left of this car, but I did also know that its fate meant there was going to be nothing left of this car. So since it kind of worked out on loads where we kind of get it on with one of these farm trucks, I went ahead and worked a deal on it, and here it is, even though there's not a ton left. Inside it is intact. We can see the back windows got busted out. Probably had a tree branch fall on it or something. And inside, it is here, you know. The dash is all there, things like that. One kind of interesting thing I did notice though, this car is a Caprice, and if we look over here, typically a Caprice was a little fancier, one had more options. This Caprice actually has power locks with manual windows. You'd have thought they would have sprung for power windows as well, but not on this particular car. So there it is for whatever it's worth, which isn't a lot. I know there's not a lot there, but the alternative meant there was nothing left, and here at least there's stuff that's going to be saved and used on some other people's Caprices to save them and keep them on the road. So anyway, there you go. You've seen where they came from. You've seen them since they're here and seen a little bit better around them, and that's what we've got on this video. Had a lot of great stuff coming in, so click that subscribe button, guys, and stay tuned. I've had a ton of cool cars hitting the ground. 3 old 50s Lincoln two-door hardtops, a super cool old Cadillac, Chevy station wagon, a Studebaker, a really cool old Studebaker V8 two-door hardtop, pretty unique car. Never seen one of those before. Continental Mark II. Literally found a Continental Mark II at an auction in the trees. So we've got a lot of great stuff coming up, a lot more cool new content. So definitely click that subscribe button. You don't want to miss any of it. If you got any questions about the Viking, the Caprice, or any of the other couple thousand cars and trucks we've got here on the ground at Nobody Else's Auto, just give me a call. 620-786-4428. That's the only way to get a hold of me and have a conversation about this stuff. We literally have a couple thousand vehicles on the ground. So getting as much information from you, year, make, model, body style, parts you need, or what you're looking for a project, the narrower we can get that, the better I can answer your questions. That's why the phone call is so important. Texts, messaging, email, none of that stuff is ever complete. It doesn't work. Just give me a call. I'll be more than happy to have that conversation with you. See if we've got something here that can help you out. So hope you enjoyed the Viking and the Caprice. Like I said, it's always fun when we can get a few clips of exactly as I found them, where I found them, and then take a little bit better look when we get them here. So that's what we did tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, stay tuned. We've got a ton of cool stuff coming up. Hope you enjoyed this video, and stay tuned. We've got a lot more cool stuff coming up. Thanks for watching, everybody.